Hello and welcome back to Toy Thursday with Johnny Tiger on January 8th, 2026. Have you ever had an action figure that you thought it was a really good figure, but you, for one reason or another, decided that you were not going to get it, you were never going to get it, and a couple of times when you saw it on deep discount, you said, "Oh, maybe I should get that," and then you said, "No, no, 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 no. I said I'm never going to get this, and I'm going to stick to my gun on this one. No one's ever going to change my mind." And then, through a series of twisted fates, you end up with the figure anyway. And it's almost like destiny. Well, the figure we're going to review today, which by the way is not this one in front of the camera, this is a American werewolf in London, the Kessler Wolf by NECA. Really good figure, by the way. I love this figure. And I definitely wanted to get this one. But the figure we're going to review today is another wolf figure. And this one I saw it when it first came out years ago, and I thought, oh wow, this is really cool, but man, it's ever expensive, and it's really too big for a lot of stuff. And so I said, no, I'm not going to get it. It's a cool toy. It's a really cool mount for some figures, but let's face it, if you want to make like random generic mounts for action figures, they need to be affordable, right? Like buying a $200 wolf for a $40 action figure to ride on is just not very economic in my book. So anyway, years went by. I kept seeing different versions of this wolf on sale, uh, going to pretty deep discount. Some of them go down to $120, and I still like, wow, that is really cool. But nope, not going to bite. I'm not going to be shaken from my conviction. It's too big. It's too expensive. It's blah blah blah. So why did I get it in the end? Well, let me tell you guys the rest of this sad tale after we come back from looking at some package photos. Comparing to all the previous wolves released in this series, the accessory count is really light on this one. Other than the back fur and two pieces of shoulder armor, I think those are shoulder armors, uh, there's nothing else in the box with this figure other than the armor already on its body. And this is unfortunate because it is still an over $100 figure, and when you come to that, you kind of feel shortchanged by the accessory count. So here it is, the giant wolf. Why did I get it in the end? Because well, let's put it this way. When you are totally blind, buying action figures sucks sometimes. Okay? Especially from a place like 5K Toys, where most of the stuff have no actual written descriptions. I saw a listing, uh, and it said from D20 Fish Toys, and it said Unicorn, Wolf of Glory Mount. Okay, when there's no description, and the first word is unicorn, and considering that I knew at the time that Fish Toys were making horses and griffins, uh, giant wolves, and wild boar, so they definitely were doing quite a variety of animals. I was thinking, unicorn. Okay, that's cool. I mean, wolves are pretty cool, but I already said I had my mind set on I wasn't going to get a wolf because it's too big. We'll talk about the size issue in a little bit. But a unicorn. I mean, we are going to get a unicorn in the Mythic Legion line very soon. So if I have another unicorn to go with it, that would be really cool. So not knowing that I was buying a wolf in the horned bladed armor that just they just called that unicorn. I pre-ordered it, and it wasn't until much later when I saw the first review on these and I realized, oh crap, it's just one of these giant wolves. It got nothing to do with unicorn. In fact, even the armor itself got nothing to do with unicorn whatsoever. It's more like the rhino bladed armor that was released earlier with the black wolf. So yeah, being blind sucks. Being blind, I have to shop blind sucks even more. Um, why didn't I cancel my pre-order? Well, honestly, at that point, I thought, well, I've been avoiding getting one of these wolves all these years, so this is almost like destiny that you make this mistake now. So might as well just go with it, and at least I can get a good video review out of it, and let's see if I like it. And the good news is, yes, I if I had to do it over again, I still wouldn't get it. Not that it's a bad figure, but it's an overpriced, really big wolf. Okay, uh, but with all that said, I do love this figure. I think it's a really good figure. I mean, sculpt wise, the armor is amazing. The fur details on the head, it has nice little blue eyes. Not that it makes any difference to me what color the eyes is. Look at the fangs and the mouth, the tongue, and the paws. This is just a really well sculpted action figure, and nice. It's very heavy too, and the tail is really well articulated. There's one, two, three points of articulation in the tail, and for some reason, I don't know about you guys, but for some reason, uh, the shape of the tail, especially when you hold it up like this, reminds me of a Super Saiyan hair sculpt. It's like the shape of Vegeta's head. So we got a wolf with friggin' Super Saiyan tail. Now, according to some reviews, these armors, like the saddle, the shin armor, these all supposed to come off. Like this two pieces of the shoulder armor on the side, they do come off. But be very careful when you remove them. Make sure to apply some heat because when I went to remove the one on the right shoulder, it actually broke off from the clip that holds it on the figure. So the armor plate came off, and the clip stayed on the figure, and I had to glue it back on. So it's very tight, and don't try to muscle it. But in fact, some of these joints are very tight as well. So it's a good idea to warm up this wolf before you start forcing it into different poses. Now, as I was saying, according to other reviews, the saddle can come off and the armor on the lower legs can come off, but I couldn't get that to work. I'm guessing if you warm this up enough, you can pull off the paw and then pull off the leg armor like that. According to Dork Lair, when I asked on his channel, because he did review a couple of these earlier versions of these wolves, he said the saddle was supposed to pop off, but yeah, I couldn't get that to work. So after messing around for a little bit, I decided to quit and just leave the saddle on because I'm not in the mood to break a $130 wolf. Another little trick that I heard while was watching Dork Layer's review is if you pop the head and the neck off and turn this neck piece over upside down, then the head can actually go up more. It can have more range. I'll need to like really warm this up to give that a try. But I haven't been able to get that to come off either. It's just a really big, heavy, chunky uh, wolf, and with all these spikes, I think even the furs are and ears really spiky. So when you're trying to pull things off, it's really painful on the fingers. Speaking of the spikes, oh by the way, there's oil all over this too, under some of these armor pieces, so you'll get some oil on your hand. Um, when I was researching this figure on the internet, I saw some Chinese and Asian websites say it's good for imaginative imaginative play for children. If you get this for your children, then you probably need to rethink your parental strategy because this is not good for children. This is really sharp, really heavy. Even for adults, I would say handle with care because if you step on this or drop this on your foot, you will seriously injure yourself. Now let's look at some photos, or some posing photos and stuff like that before we come back talk about this figure some more. At around 15 inches long and about 7 inches tall at the shoulder, this is a really, really big figure. Especially when you think it's a wolf. It's like a wolf the size of a bear. And it weighs about 4 pounds. I think it is maybe the heaviest figure in my collection right now. Those of you who have the Black Wolf with the metal blade armor, maybe you can confirm with me, but I believe this is exactly the same figure. Black Wolf in blade armor, just repainted gold for this release. So yeah, the wolf is the same. The armor, I believe, is the same. And generally speaking, articulation works really good in the legs and the tail. There's like 3 points of articulation in the tail. I wish the head can raise up more and the jaw can open a little bit wider. But other than that, I like the articulation on this figure. Now we got this in full armor. You tell me what unicorn about this? This is not a unicorn. It's a rhino. Yeah, it's a rhino armor. Okay, so I mentioned several times that what one of the reason I didn't want to get any of these wolves is the size. Now, usually I like big figures. Okay, don't get me wrong. I like big warriors, big trolls, big ogres, sentinels, galactus. I like big figures. You know, usually the bigger the better. But when it's a wolf, I mean even a giant wolf, right? Then there's a point where big is too big in my head. Now, when I think of giant wolf, I'm thinking of this, the American werewolf. Okay, this is a big wolf standing next to our giant wolf here. Just look at how laughable this size is. Okay, this giant wolf is not a giant wolf. This is like a wolf the size of an elephant. It's huge. Okay? The American werewolf can get a piggy ride on this. So why is that a problem? Well, number one, because of the price, because it's expensive. Number two, because of the amount of room this will take up on your shelf. Like I honestly I had to relocate my entire family of Tyrannosaurus from Jurassic World, Jurassic Park, just to make room for this guy. He's 15 inches long and really quite bulky, especially with all this armor on. And then if you want to add a rider on top of him, then you are looking at least a foot of height. needed on your shelf wherever you put it. Okay, that's not even counting that if the rider is holding the weapon up high or any such nonsense. So this thing is going to require a lot of space, a lot of money. Uh, like honestly, I would be happy if they make him more standard giant wolf size and sell it for $60. If they sell this for $60 at a regular, like maybe the size of those Lord of the Ring, dire wargs, not dire wolf, Lord of the Ring wargs, or this American werewolf size. I don't remember how much is this American werewolf, right? I think he was what, $40, 45. I think 40. Uh, if we get a wolf like this for $40, okay, let's say you count the armor, add another 20, $60 for this wolf. I would be getting multiples of this, but when it's this big and this expensive, then it just turns into a situation where okay, why would I spend this much money and get something this big? And most of my characters can't really ride it, right? So again, it's not that it's a bad figure; it's just too big, too expensive, um, and it's it's uh, more like a luxury item rather than a generic army builder mount for your character. One gripe I do have, and I don't know if this is just me being petty, but the mask here, it's not held on by anything. It just uh, sits there and the ears kind of hold it in place. But it's really loose. So a lot of time when you're posing the wolf, the mask will just kind of go crooked. Also, the horn and the nose here, this long horn, was warped to hell right out of the box, and I had to heat it up multiple times to finally get it to straight like this. Uh, for something that cost over $100, that was a little bit of a annoyance. Not major flaw, but just a little bit of an annoyance. Also, why does this version come with less things than the previous, like Black Wolf and White Bone Wolf and all that stuff? It's called the Mount Wolf of Glory or Mount of Glory. Like, okay, if it's supposed to be so glorious, why not give us more stuff to outfit it so it actually look like a glorious mount, something really special? Not that it's not special already. It is really big and it got gold armor, so it definitely looks special. But I'm just saying, like for the price point, this version is not giving you a lot with your purchase. One thing I like is there's little rings on the side of the saddle that you can kind of attach things to. Um, but again, that just illustrates that just further emphasize that they didn't give you anything to put on it. A few severed head or skulls or something would be nice. No, just saying. I did pay $130 for it. Would be nice to have a little extra. In the end, I will say it's a good figure. It's big and impressive, and definitely will be a statement piece on your shelf. Uh, but finding someone to ride it is going to be problematic because it's so big and bulky. Um, Definitely not going to use it for some random uh, character. This is uh, like a command class, a commanding leader kind of mount, in my opinion. Also, at first I was thinking that it's being a gold armored wolf, it might be able to go with heroes, but no. The more I handle this, the more I am sitting here with all this spiky blades on the armor. This have an evil villain vibe to me. It's not what I would call a good guy or heroic look. Uh, anyway, we are going to look at some posing photos and size comparison photos at the end of the video, and you can see who I ultimately decided is a good fit to ride this giant beast. Now, obviously, this wolf costs over $100 and it's a really big wolf, so I'm not going to get a bunch of these for random orc grunts or goblins to ride. Partly I don't have the money, and also I don't have the space. So this is going to be one wolf to rule them all, one of the kind, the only one of its kind on the shelf, and it's going to require a special character that uh, can ride this wolf. I considered the Morna action figure from Visceral's studio. I considered Alchemisti and Fascia from Mythic Legions. Also considered Death Adder from Golden Axe and Warduke from Dungeons and Dragons. But in the end, surprising even myself, it was Gorilla Grodd, the game version made by Todd McFarlane in the DC Multiverse. He just seemed like he goes perfect with this figure and this wolf. What do you think? Who do you have riding your giant wolf? Let me know in the comment section. And thank you for checking out this review. Have a good day. If after watching this review you feel like you want a giant wolf of your own, they got one up for pre-order at Big Bad Toy Store, and this one is called the Wolf of Glory Lava version.